when the coronavirus swept across America, Hat People was put into a unique position because we had to close down our usual venues for selling. A third of our business has been online for many years now, but suddenly that was what was going on because all of the artisan markets and festivals were just gone suddenly, like in a week, 1 week, boom, gone, by a government order of the stay-at-home policy. It just made a domino effect throughout the Portland area and throughout Oregon and then the rest of America and through the world. So in that week, I was faced with having to do something super new. And so I made a series of videos to present the hats and to talk about the hats. And it was something that was in our minds for a long time. But I did it, and I really knocked it out there and made it happen. But there was something deep behind that. It was very personal as well. There's just such a thing with television. Television is such an icon for me. And that has to do with something very unique for me. My grandfather was an engineer, and he worked on the creation of the cathode ray tube, which was the central element in television. And so he was there at the ground floor of the literal ground floor of the development of television. And from that place, he made the choice to never allow my mother as a kid to have television. She always tells the story that she had to go down the street to watch Mickey Mouse cartoons when they were first coming out at her friend's house, that she never got to watch them at her home, and that Grandpa only got TV, decades later when he was an old man, to watch Sesame Street when Sesame Street came out for the first time, because he thought Sesame Street was a really cool and new thing. But besides that, that was it. He fundamentally chose saying that television was not all right, and that he then said that he made that choice in relationship to my mom, and then she made that choice in relationship to me. And so I never had television growing up, and I always wanted to have television, and I really pushed for it like crazy to have television, and of course that just never happened. And I have this really, really strong memory of being at Grandpa's house, and it's like, and there was this going question, that, hey, when we go to Grandpa's house, you can ask him why you can't have TV. You want to have TV so bad? Well, the reason is because Grandpa says so, okay? And so finally, we're visiting him. I don't see him that often, but we're at his house, and I had this distinct memory. I'm like this little guy. I mean, like 5, maybe 7 or 8, but little. And he's sitting in the kitchen, and he's sitting at the dining room table. It's a big circular dining room table, and there's a stack of paper napkins in the middle of the table. And I come up and go, Grandpa, I want to have TV. Why can I have TV? I want to have TV. Mom and Dad won't let me have it. He turns to me, and he takes up one of the paper napkins, and he takes out a pen, and he says, if you have TV, you will look like this. And this is what he drew. I mean, like almost to the T, this is what he drew. This banana image. His banana had more of a curve to it. It wasn't so straight. And the eyes were hollow instead of blacked in, like kind of Orphan Annie eyes. But otherwise. It was totally like this. And it was a yellow napkin, so it became a yellow banana, like there's a yellow shirt with black lines. It was so exactly this. And it just, it always stuck with me as this memory from my grandpa that he said that. But then, about 5 years ago, something like that, not, yeah, maybe something like that, 4 or 5 years ago, I was at an artisan's fair, and my friend he does silkscreen art, and he had this shirt, and I was like, oh my gosh, you drew the picture on a shirt that is this really, really strong memory of me from my grandfather. And so I made a special order for him to make the shirt for me in my size, and I've had it ever since, and it's this sweet special thing. But so I guess this is now the intro video, and so probably after this video you'll see the other videos. But what happened, you see, is that when it came to this moment with being faced with making this series of movies, I was, I'm going to make 6 movies that really explain our styles of hats. I thought about this shirt, and I thought about my grandfather, and there was a lot more things that went into designing these movies. I was thinking of something that was concise, casual, fun, and that I was going to be like just putting this thing together. I mean, that was like, really, really under pressure, really, really like kind of a panic moment. It wasn't that the kind of clean, defined presentation that we really put into our work and our presentation overall with Hat People. It was much more of a like kind of a moment, So I was like, I've got to wear the shirt, and so I did.